But the cost of the old story is that your life will be lived on repeats instead of evolution and instead of revelation. It's going to be on constant repeat. You're going to repeat the same stories, the same mistakes. You're going to run into the same issues and the same type of people. Hello, hello, hello. It's me again. I am Phoenix Jackson, and thank you for coming back to my channel. I hope that the videos and our work with unfolding has been giving you some good food to morsel on so far. I know, yeah, I know it's summertime now. So y'all see, we got my shoulders out. I'll bite that shoulder. Yes. So today we are going to talk about something a little bit different. I'm gonna kick in my expertise brain on y'all just a little bit. We are going to talk about what is the story that you are telling yourself about yourself. You talking about yourself. How are you handling yourself? And is it still serving you? Is that story still serving you? Let's get into it. So, hey, let's talk about your story. Not the one you post on social media, not the one you tell people, to impress a room. I mean, the quiet one, the one that runs beneath your decisions, the one that shapes your choices before you even realize it. We all have a story that we tell about ourselves. The question is your story still true? Go find a therapist to let you know if the story has ever been true. But in the now, is the story that you're telling yourself still true? Ask yourself that question right now. What has been your personal narrative? We live in an age right now where people can pretty much makeshift whatever ever brand, whatever image, whatever story that they want to share. Like I said, people are out here sharing life advice who haven't even lived. Child, you 23, you ain't been through nothing. Or people are writing books. I read a book recently that's a bestseller actually because it's very spiritual light. But when I found out about the author, and even I read the book myself, I was like, oh, this is not, I'm not the audience. This is for people who are not evolved, like at all. Like this is spiritual light, like LITE, almost like Pedialyte or diet cola, honey. This is spirit diet. This is diet spirit. It's for people who haven't gone through anything. It's the spiritual fluff. They've monetized spiritual fluff. And there's a lot of that going on. People are just monetizing and telling the story that best fits versus actually being in it and actually have survived something themselves. Um People are out here talking about a testimony who ain't actually ever had a test. So we have to be careful with that. But in formulating the story authentically, the question is, what has been your inner script? How have you been speaking to yourself? Are you kind to yourself? Are you even aware of the voice in which you speak to yourself in? It's the sentence that comes to mind when you do something or something goes wrong. It's the loop that you repeat when you're wrong, when you're alone, or even when you feel like you've done something wrong. It's the way you explain your worth, your value, and frankly, your potential. How do you represent yourself? Let's say you are a publicist and you have to, somebody who is your exact twin with your exact journey has stepped in front of you and has said, hey, this is my story, and it's the exact same story that you have. How would you represent that person? How would you view that story? You know, sometimes that inner script sounds like, dang, I'm always the strong one. Or man, I'm nothing ever really works out for me. Or I'm always having to figure this stuff out alone. Or I'm the one who never gets chosen. Or dang, why can't I get the job I want or the man I want or the woman I want? These out here just getting it easy. We compare ourselves to other people as well. That's a part of the inner script. And with social media today, that inner script gets so loud, ridiculously loud. And the reality is, a lot of the things that you see on social media, they're not even real. They're not even true. A lot of things are fabricated. Whew, don't tell me how I know, or don't ask me how I know. Those things that you say to yourself are not just thoughts and feelings, they're identities. I call it the doubt monster in my book, The Spirit of Business. They're identities. And if you don't rewrite them, you relive them. If you don't tweak and fix the words and the vibration in which you speak to yourself and that story in which you speak to yourself over and over again, honey, if you don't rewrite it, you're going to relive it over and over again. I have a cool exercise for you all at the end. I have a long exercise you can do, but then I have a short exercise that you can do as well. But let's talk about first, like, where does that story come from? Most of our internal stories, they weren't written by us. They are what we carried over from childhood survival, from society's expectations, from other people's projections on us and expectations on us, and trauma we've never asked for, and systems that told us to shrink instead of staying quiet, or excuse me, systems that told us to shrink or stay quiet. Those are the things that really help our story come into play and help that inner critic and that inner story be louder than the truth. You may have told yourself a certain story to stay safe, to feel in control, to make sense out of pain, and maybe it worked for a while. Maybe it worked for a while. But now you're out of alignment with that story because you've outgrown that story. And that story may be holding you back from the new person, the new energy that you are becoming. And as I said in the previous video, you have the right to change your mind. You have the right to mold and shift and shed whatever skin you're in that does not work for you. This is your life. Now, I'm not telling you go out there and be selfish. If you have birthed children or if you have had children, it is not an option for you to leave people on this planet that you have created. It is not an option to leave them alone, nor is it responsible, nor is it karmically respectful for any parent to leave their children or to manifest situations where you have to leave your child. All right? Don't be selfish. But outside of that, unless you're of danger to your child, then by all means put your children in safer places and you know whether or not you're a danger to your child. But I digress. Those words, those things that you've told yourself that have held you back, you can absolutely shed the skin of those things and move forward with stealth and moxie towards what's next. Let's talk about the cost of the old stories. Here's the thing about stories, they shape what we believe we're allowed to want. Stories shape what we believe we're allowed to want. That's where a lot of imposter syndrome comes into play because you've been told that you shouldn't want or be in those spaces. And as Barack Obama said, President Barack Obama said, Forever POTUS said, when you get in rooms with certain people, you realize they ain't all that. And as someone who's been in rooms with said people, include him, yeah, it's a lot of people in spaces because they lucked up or they were handed or nepotism. They didn't earn it. And it's sad because the people who earn those spaces don't feel like they deserve to be in those spaces. And the mere fact that you are in the door and your spirit is in that space in that time means that you're supposed to serve that space now. So you deserve to be there. But let's get back to it. The stories shape how we allow people to treat us. They shape how big we let ourselves dream or how small we keep ourselves to stay comfortable. Ugh. Now, everybody's dream does not need to be big. Everybody's idea of success does not need to be big. Some people's idea of success is coming home, living on a farm in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom cottage with a lake in the back. Some people's success is being in a small apartment downtown in a major city where they can just live and eat pizza every day. Everybody' idea of success is going to be different. Know that. But the cost of the old story is that your life will be lived on repeat instead of evolution. And instead of revelation, it's going to be on constant repeat. You're going to repeat the same stories, the same mistakes. You're going to run into the same issues and the same type of people. The same type of people. When you keep attracting, let's talk about dating for a second. When you keep attracting the same people, it's because there's a script in your spirit. There's a script in your subconscious mind, which runs actually most of the decisions in people's lives. There's a script that you haven't let go of yet. That you haven't let go of yet. What is that script? And the bigger question is, how do we start to rewrite the story? How do we start to rewrite our own story? So we can't rewrite it by pretending it didn't happen or the past didn't exist or by choosing which chapter we will talk about. That's cognitive dissonance when you cut out chapters and cut shit out that you ain't supposed to cut out. No, that's you. You did it and you're supposed to have learned from it. But the new story may sound like I am allowed to rest and still be worthy. The new story may sound like, you know what? I did these things in the past, but I have transmuted, I have changed, I have evolved, and I am accountable to the new person I am today. A new script could be my truth matters even when it's quiet. Because maybe you're an introvert and you're not the loudest person in the room. It could be I no longer shrink for rooms not built for my brilliance. Huh. You don't have to get quiet and simmer down and be quiet just because other can't handle you. And the biggest thing of all is that you are the author now. When we were children, somebody else was our author, somebody else was our writer. And a lot of parents failed their children. But now you are the author of your fate. You are the captain of your ship, the steward of your soul. And so you can make a decision about what you're going to do next. But you have to make that decision. I have some homework for you. You know, I always got to give you homework. Get your pen and paper. Blues clues. Let's find us a clue to heal ourselves. Blues clues. Okay, that was just my little commercial break. This homework, I want you to do some reflection, right? What is one story you've been telling about yourself that no longer feels like the truth? What is a story that you've been telling about yourself that no longer feels like the truth? That's a big one. That's a big one. And then ask yourself, what new story do you want to evolve into? Who do you want to become? Who you want to become, baby? Who do you want to become? Write it down, speak it aloud, and let the new narrative begin to take root. Because when you change your story, when you change the speaker, when you give the author the permission to write something new, everything begins to change. You change your energy. You infuse the trillions of cells in your body with new, profound energy, and our body is going to respond. It's going to respond. You change the life that you are living right now, and you start to serve the now as you unfold within it. So let me know in the comments, or you can email me. I'm putting my email in the description. What old story are you ready to release if you're comfortable with sharing that? And what new one are you ready to write? Huh? And I have another exercise. And I will talk about it in another video why I'm going to get you to do this. But there's a television show called Dark Matter that is on Apple TV. I think it's on Apple TV or maybe it's on Max. And the essential point of the show is a man invents a time machine or invents a machine where he can go into the different levels and every different reality that can be conceived and thought of. He can go into it. He can go inside of a box and he can think and pray and meditate on a reality, and he will walk through a door and go into that reality. Now this is the thing in the show. It's heavily rooted into your subconscious. So just because you think in one thing and your subconscious could be thinking about water. Oh my God, I'm thirsty. Water, water, water. So guess what? You're gonna open this door and water's gonna flood you and you're gonna drown because water's flooding you because the last thing you was truly, truly thinking about was water. That's how our subconscious mind works. I want you guys to watch the show Dark Matter. It is a whole series. It's going to take you a while to watch it, but it is so good. I think it's like 8 or 9 episodes, and that's it. But it's such a good show to just show you how real it is that you temper your mind for the reality that you desire. And after I watched that show, I did a different exercise that expands on the one that I'm asking you to do now. I went inside of my prayer closet and I wrote down on a piece of paper, front and back, in my very sloppy handwriting. I wrote down, when I open this door, this is what's going to be on the other side. When I open this door, this is what I'm going to have and manifest. When I open this door, da, 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 and I read it ever so often. I go to my altar and I pray in my mornings and I read it ever so often. And guess what? I am expecting that what I put on there is going to manifest itself in due time, is that in that those things are finding their way to me. But I created that exercise based on watching that show, because at one point he got smart and started sitting down and drafting and writing, like, okay, in this world, this is what this is. This is what this is, because he was trying to get back home. He was trying to get home. So he had to concentrate on what did his world look and feel like. Not anybody else's world. Not alternative universes, but his singular universe with his family. He had to get it precision and correct. He had to hit it with precision and correctness to get where he needed to get to. So I want you to start doing that yourself. Drafting that new story with precision. What do you look like? What do you smell like? What do you taste like? What do you want to do? What are you involved in? You know? All of the things. Let's talk, let's get there. Thank you so much. I am Phoenix Jackson. Thank you so much for joining me again. And listen, thank you for being here. Let's keep unfolding together.